just before 8 AM. I am just back from the gym, and in today's episode, what I'm going to do is walk you through a complete day of nutrition for me at this moment in time as a guy in and around my 30s looking to get strong, stay lean, build muscle, and perform well. That is the goal. I am currently eating between sort of 26 to 2800 calories. And by the way, little side note, this is not me saying that this is what you have to eat. I'm just saying this is what works for me. This is what makes me feel good. This is what gives me energy. So hope it helps. Now, if you'd watched a day in the life video, you would have seen something similar to this, though this one is slightly lower calories. When I filmed that video, I was on slightly higher calories, I believe, in the lead up to the 777 challenge. So this meal you would have seen similar previously, but this is probably slightly lower calorie as to what it was previously. So I'm going to give you a run through of MyFitnessPal at the end of this video and at the end of the day. But this is literally just oats with this milk, which is the chocolate plant protein. This is really the only way that I have oats now. I don't like oats with normal milk. It has to be with this bad boy. So the night before, I would set out oats and I would then add the oats into the bowl in the morning. I would then add a bit of the magic milk along with some frozen blueberries so that it's now ready post gym. I will add a little bit more milk, maybe even a splash of normal milk, just to sort of moisten it up a little bit before I add a scoop of creatine. This is the optimum nutrition. Then we've got Perform Whey, which I would highly recommend. This one is vanilla cream. I enjoy that. So I'll literally add them into here, add the banana, add a couple of teaspoons of honey, and that will be good to go. That is breakfast. Literally takes 5 minutes to make. And yeah, I would highly recommend soaking the oats beforehand. So there you have it. That is literally breakfast done, dusted. I'm going to have that, and then I'll be back for lunch. So here we are back. It is officially lunchtime and I have just finished making lunch. This is something that I have had probably 5 days a week for the last sort of couple of weeks. And I know a lot of people will say, right, you need to be flexible with your diet, you need to sort of mix it up. But in my opinion, sticking to the same sort of foods just makes things easy. It makes it streamlined, and often I'll go between the same sort of few meals at each mealtime. Probably between sort of 1 and 3 breakfasts, between 1 and 3 lunches, and yeah, like 4, 5 dinners or so. I find that it just almost like removes the guesswork. You don't need to think about things. You don't need to come up with sort of constant ideas. And actually, as a little side note, what I would highly recommend you do, and this is something that I'll sort of work with clients and almost like give them as a goal to do, is basically creating between 2 and 4 meals for each meal time that they know is going to hit their calories, that's going to hit their protein, things that they know that they're going to enjoy, that they can have consistently, they can have at work or have in the morning or whatever it is. But just giving them something that, right, this has got this many calories, this many protein, therefore they don't necessarily have to track it all the time. They know, right, this is what works. And as I say, it just really removes the guesswork. But this is my lunch. Pretty simple. We have 2 bits of wholemeal toast. We have 4 eggs scrambled in sort of 10 grams of butter or so. A couple of bacon medallions which have been grilled. Bit of salsa on top. Probably need to add a little bit more just because that is my go-to and it goes very well with a lot of things. I will have it a lot with eggs, whether it's fried or scrambled or poached or boiled or whatever I'm having. So we'd highly recommend that. But salsa, and then usually actually I would have cherry tomatoes and I would usually fry them off in a little bit of butter with some garlic and also mushrooms, but I just checked in the fridge. Friday is my shopping day. It's currently Thursday and there were no mushrooms to be had, so cherry tomatoes it is. Just so you've got an idea, that is around about 800 calories, just sort of slightly over, and over 50 grams of protein. So a good protein hit in that. Dinner's up next, unless I decide to have a little snack, which I may well. Also, I actually just started eating that and realised that I'd forgotten to mention it had avocado in it. So there you have it, half an avocado throughout and spread over toast, because you can't have toast without avocado, can you? Meal 3 of the day. Had considered a little snack, but I realised that salmon was for dinner. That is fairly high calorie. This, just purely to give you a little bit of background, in case you wondered, salmon is more calorific because it's got a higher percentage of fat. So if you compare that to chicken, you're having probably double the calories around about for 2 sort of fillets of salmon than you would for like 200 grams of chicken or sort of a larger chicken breast. I like to call it Tuscan salmon, I'll generally have it with chicken. If I'm having it with chicken, I'll generally put in chorizo to add a little bit more flavour, a few more calories. But this is around about 1100, and as I said, I'll show you calories at the end. But currently, making it here, so we've got veg, which I'm going to put in. Frying off the salmon, that has salt, pepper and some paprika on it, very fancy. 75 grams of rice boiling away, and I'm just going to fry off the chicken, add some veg, put in some chicken stock, butter beans, which I know is a funny little idea, but butter beans it is. Paprika, I would generally put in a little bit more veg, whatever I had in, generally sort of mushrooms and whatever else. But as mentioned earlier, shop is tomorrow, so supplies are running a little bit low, and as I say, it's around about 1100 calories, fairly high calorie. The salmon itself is around about 600 calories. Usually I would do the old eat one, prep one, meal prep, where I would just cook double, but because of the salmon, I've only got 2 fillets. If I had 4, I would make double. However, that is not the case today. Here she is, the finished article. Look at that bad boy. Look at that good quality meal. By the way, the missing ingredient, the ingredient that I didn't mention, was actually just garlic. So added some garlic in, but that is literally what I've just talked you through. Nothing complicated. That was literally all the ingredients, and we're now good to go. So that is a day's worth of food. I'm just going to show you that on MyFitnessPal so you can have a look through. So as you can see here, 2800 calories is the goal. That is just 2950, so slightly over 143, no big deal. Not massively worried right now. Breakfast was obviously the oats, so that's a chocolate soya milk, even in that, so about 300ml, 10 grams of protein, which is pretty decent for that. A little splash of normal milk plus a coffee. Then we've obviously got oats, 75 grams, scoop of protein, creatine, flat white Costa, which it wasn't, it was Himba. That is a little bit of a lie, but whenever it's like that, I can kind of tend to overestimate. So that's 135, which is actually probably about right. Banana, and the thing I forgot to mention in breakfast was chia seeds. Scrolling down, we've got lunch, which was obviously 2 bits of toast. We've then got 4 scrambled eggs, 10 grams of butter, which is cooked in, half an avocado, 4 bacon medallions, some salsa, and then meal 3, the classic butter beans, a little bit of olive oil just to cook the salmon. Chicken stock, 75 grams of rice, so a good portion of rice there. A couple of salmon fillets, as you can see, calorific, 548 for them. Little bit of Philadelphia. Oh, I've not added that. Forgot about that. But as you can see, around about 3000 calories, so slightly over what I wanted it to be, but all good. Protein, 177 grams. Good to go. And that is a day worth of nutrition, 26 to 2800 calories, approximately. A little bit over, but as I say, not massively worried about, I'm not in a deficit or anything like that, so all good with that, no worries about that sort of slight extra bit. And as I say, that's for me, 33-year-old who's sort of training to get stronger, to build muscle, to be able to run further, run faster, get fitter, have energy, and just feel good, in all honesty. And yeah, I've been eating this diet for around about a good sort of 4 weeks or so now, feeling very, very good for it. And that is my day's nutrition as a 3-year-old. So there you go, just a little insight. As I said previously, it's not that there's any right or wrong when it comes to nutrition, it's finding something that works for you, but hopefully that gives you some ideas and a bit of inspo.